What does it mean to stand unshaken when the world lures you with beauty, whispers your name in the dark, and promises pleasure at the cost of your soul? Imagine yourself on a cliff's edge, the wind sharp against your skin, the abyss below calling, not with words but with a pull in your chest. One step forward and everything you've built crumbles. One step back and you claim a power most men never know. Friedrich Nietzsche asked this over a century ago, and his question burns brighter today. Will you master your hunger, or will it master you? Here on Dark Psyphoria, we hold a mirror to truths you've felt but never named. If this stirs something deep within, join us. Subscribe to walk this path of clarity together. The air grows heavy when beauty smiles. Your breath shortens, your pulse quickens, and in that moment your empire, your name, your legacy, teeters. Nietzsche's words cut like a blade. Are you going to women? Do not forget the whip. Not cruelty, but clarity. Sex is the oldest trap, the silent leverage women without virtue wield to bring giants to their knees. It's not love, not partnership, not respect that most often pulls men to ruin. It's the hunger of the flesh, the spark that clouds reason, the moment where the little head drowns the big one. Without that hunger, most men would never entangle their lives with women who offer nothing but a fleeting thrill. Have you felt that pull, that instant where desire whispered louder than wisdom? Picture a man at the peak of his life, successful, strong, his legacy carved with sweat and will. Yet in one moment he lets desire lead. The woman before him has no throne, no wisdom, no loyalty. She's a riddle, as Nietzsche wrote, and her solution isn't love, it's leverage. One night, one accusation, and his world turns to ash. This is the story of Shannon Sharpe, a man who rose from poverty, who built an empire with his voice and mind. Today he stands in the shadow of allegations, not because he lost on the field, but because he lost the invisible battle between lust and discipline. Nietzsche's warning wasn't hatred, it was reality. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he saw women not as evil, but as forces of chaos when they lack virtue, loyalty, or humility. Everything about woman is a riddle, he wrote, and everything about woman has one solution. It is called pregnancy. Not a reduction to biology, but a nod to the ancient power women hold, the ability to create life and manipulate men's hunger for it. Feel the weight of that. Her gaze is a spark that could light your world or burn it down. The air thickens, the silence grows loud. In that stillness, what do you choose? The battlefield has changed. It's no longer just the promise of life, it's the threat of destruction. A single accusation, a media storm, a trial by public opinion. The mob doesn't wait for facts, it smells blood and feasts. Picture Sharpe in a courtroom, the silence deafening, his breath caught as headlines carve his name into a warning. Decades of sacrifice, years of discipline, all at risk, not from a sword, but from a moment where desire won. Carl Jung understood this alchemy. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. When you let someone into your world, they change you for ruin or redemption. Sharpe's story isn't unique. It's a lesson older than time. Men fall not at their weakest, but at their strongest when they believe they're untouchable. Imagine yourself at the height of your power. The room is warm, her laughter soft, the light dim. You think you're in control, that you can taste the fire without being burned, but Nietzsche knew better. The true man wants two things, danger and play. For this, he wants woman, the most dangerous plaything. Dangerous, not safe, not nurturing by default. Dangerous unless proven otherwise. Have you ever mistaken beauty for goodness? Felt the pull of a smile and ignored the warning in your gut? In that moment, you're not just risking a night, you're risking your empire. In Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche cuts deeper. In Revenge and in Love, woman is more barbarous than man. When a woman without virtue seeks to destroy, she doesn't use reason. She wields a cold, ancient cunning born from survival. It's not evil, it's nature. And nature laughs when men ignore it. Pause for a moment. Picture a man you know, maybe you, at a crossroads. The world tells you beauty is harmless, trust is noble. But the air feels heavy, the silence loud. Would you chase the spark or walk away knowing the cost? This is where transformation begins, not in the act but in the choice. Silence becomes power when you refuse to react, when you let the fire burn without touching you. Sharpe's fall is a mirror. A man who built an empire, now fighting to save it. Not from an army, but from a woman with no throne, no name, only leverage. Whether the claims are true or false matters little to the mob. Nietzsche wrote, "In individuals, insanity is rare, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs, it is the rule. The crowd doesn't seek truth, it seeks blood. In its frenzy, a man's legacy can collapse overnight. Feel that weight, the years of grind, the sleepless nights, all hanging by a thread because of one lapse. But this isn't just about Sharpe, it's about you. Every man who believes he's immune. Nietzsche's Übermensch, the overman, transcends the animal within, crushing the instinct for easy pleasure to demand something greater. To be a true man, you must become an overman in the face of temptation. See her beauty and smile, not chase it. Recognize the trap and walk past, not dive in and wonder why you're bleeding. The weak man is conquered by women. The strong man is cautious. The wise man chooses carefully, or not at all. Picture yourself in a quiet room. The world outside hums with chaos, but here, you're still. Your heart beats steady, your mind clear. You felt the pull of desire, the heat of a moment that could have broken you. But you said no. You chose your empire over a thrill. That's not weakness, it's rebirth. Montaigne wrote, "He who has not a good memory should never meddle with lying." Similarly, he who lacks discipline should never meddle with temptation. Discipline isn't a chain, it's your shield. Consider John, a small-town lawyer I heard of through a friend. Respected, steady, he thought he could handle a client's flattery that turned to more. One night, one lapse, and her accusation of misconduct shattered his practice. His wife left, his kids turned away. The courtroom was silent, the air heavy with judgment. His breath caught as his name became a cautionary tale. John wasn't Sharpe, but his story echoes the same truth. One moment, and a lifetime's work turns to ash. This isn't about celebrities, it's about every man who thinks he's above the trap. Nietzsche demanded self-overcoming, the act of conquering yourself before anything else. If you can't say no to temptation, you're not free. You're a slave, led by your hunger to the slaughterhouse. Feel that truth settle in. Your chest tightens, your pulse quickens, not from desire, but from clarity. The world tells you to indulge, to trust, to believe beauty equals goodness. But you know better. You've seen the fire, felt its heat, and walked away. That's not survival, it's transcendence. Picture a man at dawn, the sky bruised with light. He's not chasing pleasure or running from pain. He's still, his breath steady, his mind a fortress. He's faced the riddle of woman, the pull of desire, and chosen his path. This is the Übermensch, the man who doesn't bow to instinct. You can be him. You can stand unmoved, not because you're cold, but because you're whole. The world will test you, her smile, her touch, the promise of a moment, but you'll see it for what it is, A test, not a truth. Sharpe stands as a sacrifice on an ancient altar, a man destroyed not by swords but by unchecked desires. Nietzsche saw it coming. He warned of women who offer ruin in a pretty disguise, who wield beauty like a blade. But he also showed the way out. Master your hunger, or it will master you. Guard your empire, guard your soul, guard your mind, or lose everything for nothing. Think of a time you felt the edge of ruin, not from a grand failure, but from a small choice. A moment where you let desire lead and paid the price. Maybe it wasn't headlines, but a fractured trust, a lost opportunity, a piece of yourself you can't reclaim. What did that teach you? How did it shape the man you are now? Your story holds power, not for pity, but for awakening. Share it with us in the comments or hold it close and let it fuel your resolve. This isn't about fear, it's about alchemy. The pain of Sharpe's fall, the sting of your own mistakes can be transformed. You don't erase the past, you forge it into something stronger. Look back at that moment you stumbled, feel the ache, the regret, the silence that followed. Now see it differently, not as a wound, but as a lesson carved into your bones. You didn't fall, you rose, wiser, sharper, unyielding. That's the gift of discipline, the power of saying no when the world screams yes. Nietzsche's truth is a whisper, heard only in the quiet of your mind. Strength isn't measured by what you conquer, but by what you refuse to bow to. You felt the pull of ruin, the heat of a moment that could have broken you. But you're here, breathing, choosing. That's not chance, it's power. The power to vet relentlessly, to see beauty and not be blinded, to guard your empire with a clarity nothing can shake. If this truth burns in you, share it. Not for the algorithm, for the soul who needs it next. The man teetering on the edge, blind to the trap. The brother who thinks he's untouchable. Pass this spark, let it burn through the lies. Subscribe to Dark Psyphoria if you refuse to be another casualty, if you believe men can rise in strength, wisdom, and discipline. Support our mission via the link below, because strength grows when we fight together. This is Dark Psyphoria, where healing doesn't shout, it whispers through your silence. Let's stop surviving our inner world and start living inside it. Subscribe if you're ready to go deeper with us. Thank you for watching. Walk your path with quiet strength.